Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Monday morning. We love Monday mornings here on Panhandle Outdoors. It just starts off a great week ahead of us, and a lot of us are getting back into school now. Most people started back last Thursday. We sort of had a wacky calendar here locally this year, but everybody's getting back in. So be careful driving around, early in the morning and in the afternoon when you see these buses now. We always talk about that, so just be careful. But we'll get started with our weather, brought to us by Haney Technical Center at 767, 5500, and high today is going to be all the way up to 61. Barely going to hit the 60s. This is our typical January weather. Had a lot of rain last week and a lot of moisture in the air, cool and damp. It's what we call raw weather, and I sort of like it. Really, gives us a break from. And I enjoy having that change of seasons. And also, January and February are going to be cold months, and that's just the way it is. And we just roll with it. Below tonight now is going to get down to 45. Water temperature is 63. Let's take a look at our moon phases. We're talking about this is the 7th, so our moon now is waxing, waning on out, and then going to start waxing up next week, and our full moon is way toward the end of the month, around the 25th. And I'm going to give you the full moon dates later on in the show. But most of them are in toward the end of the month, the first 6 or 7 months of this 2013 year. Now, I took a call a few minutes ago, called a pier, and got a pier report. The carrier was telling me that the week of December the 25th, right between Christmas and New Year's, that week they caught a lot of flounder off the Panama City Beach Pier. And now it's slowed down some now. They caught some whiting. The county pier is doing really good on whiting right now. The city pier is not catching that many whiting, but the flounder fishing has been excellent during that week break between Christmas and New Year's. So if you get a chance, it's slow in January and February, but the flounder made a really good run. Okay, our tides are, I don't have the chart, but we'll get it tomorrow. Low tide is at 3:39 this morning. High tide is at 4:15. So it's been we'll get a tide chart set up for you tomorrow. Okay, let's go and take our first break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. This is some few announcements here that's concerning outdoors in general. One of the things they're doing a crab. You have your crab trap in the water. It's a crab trap. It's closure now. Now, if you have your traps out there, you got to go pick them up, take them out of the water. Yeah, they do this every other year. It's only for 10 days. Now, if you have it off the end of your dock, it's okay. But FWC, what they try to do, some volunteer groups and all go out for the weekend and all and take up these old crab traps, these derelict traps that's out there. A lot of times they're a hazard to navigation, and you run into them or something and mess up your motor. And a lot of times, people don't see them, and they're just out there and just getting in the way. So every other year in different regions of the state, they will go and take up those crab traps. So, but you're okay if you like me to have it just hanging off the end of your dock. Now, really, I don't really do much crabbing this time of year, but anyway, be aware of that. Now, here it is January, and we talked about fishing all. January now is my month where I really enjoy the woods. I really try to get out. We're talking about the rut over and over again. January is the main rut. We're right on the verge of it happening here. I know it's already happening more on the eastern part of our viewing area and some areas up in the northern part. But right here, this is when I really enjoy hunting. And I don't fish much in January. I really do a lot of hunting in January when I get some spare time. I got everything sort of set up the way I want. I'm running a little bit late, but the January rut is right. We're right on the verge of it. Be aware of that. And you get a chance, get out to the woods, and if you're looking for that big buck, this is the month you're usually going to get them. All right. Now the dates on the FWC. I was talking the other day. If you get a chance to go ahead and pick up your new book right here, I was looking through it again, and they only have 3 meetings during the year, and the dates. The next one now will be February 13th and 14th. And I tell you these because the public is invited to these meetings. You can go and you can have a word if you let them know ahead of time you want to speak to them and all. But this one's going to be Orlando. Then in April will be one in Tallahassee, and then June down in Lakeland. So the one up in our area will be here in April. But you're always welcome to go to those. Now I've been asked to by several different people, several different parties, about doing a big buck contest for this coming not this hunting season, of course, but 2013, 2014 year. And if you would, y'all give me some feedback on that. It's going to, we get some really nice prizes. I've had people talk about the prizes, and we need to get a couple of sponsors to sponsor the Big Buck Contest, and it's sort of a lot of leg work. And I spent the other afternoon about 4 hours looking through the internet at how different states and different areas do their Big Buck Contest. It's just amazing to me how they judge them all kind of different ways. I look, out, of course, Texas and Kansas and all the way to New York State. They have some up there. Pennsylvania has a lot of Big Buck contests, and a lot of these are local contests. And then over in Georgia, I saw where one of the TV stations in Albany, they cover a large area there. They have a big contest too, and they cover like 30-something counties, and they all have different rules. Some of them do the Boone. Of course, Boone and Crockett is the easiest way, but then you have a problem there on getting who's going to come in. And I get a call Saturday night, 10 o'clock. Hey, Coach, this is Bubba. I got this big old buck back here in the swamp. I know he's going to win the contest. You want to come out here and measure him? Well, on 10 o'clock Saturday night, I'm not official Boone and Crockett scorer, and Stan Kirkland is, but I don't think Stan's going to want to go down there to Apalachicola National Forest, the lower part of Tulogia, and count the points on it. So I don't know really how we're going to do that. We may or may not do it. I just need to get some feedback from y'all. I think it'll be really nice. I know C&G has one. It wouldn't compete with them. I know one of the rules would have, but like Ronnie does at C&G, we'd want to, it had to be taken here in our 9-county area. Just give me some feedback on what you think, and we'll see. We don't have to make a decision right now, but we'll take a look at it. Now let's go from hunting deer to getting in boats and all. And this boating accident, I read about this last weekend down in Seminole County. Two guys, they'd been out fishing. They left about 5:30 and going to around across the lake there in Seminole County. That's in Central Florida. And on the way back, they left about 1:30 a.m. on the way back, and they didn't show up that next morning. And people started calling, friends and family started calling, and they immediately started a search party. And then FWC, of course, immediately started their searching party. And one of their buddies, about 12 hours later, found an abandoned boat. And they knew it was cold that last week, remember, and the water was cold, so they felt like there wouldn't be any survivors. But what I wanted to read you real quick, FWC investigators suspect the men were ejected from the vessel. So they were coming back from the fish camp, going to the boat landing, and were ejected. Here's the kicker here. We talk about this all the time on boating safety. I'm going to read this today to my class. There were two life jackets. There were two life jackets on board when they found the boat. One of the friends, by the way, found the boat. He said there were two life jackets, two paddles, and the keys to their truck. And felt like they didn't have the life jackets on. How many times I've been guilty of that myself, not having a life jacket on. So it's never too late to start a new habit, especially at the beginning of the year. Wear those life jackets. Wear them, especially at night when you're going across an area, and especially if you're going a little bit fast and all. You hit something solid, and you may or may not see it. You hit it solid, you're going to be ejected. You don't have seat belts on those boats, so be aware of that. All right, let's take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now, don't forget, go ahead and start sending in your registration for the 2013 drawings. I got a lot of, this past week, got a lot of names sent in, and we'll start drawing. Our first drawing will be this Friday for Tarpon Rock Seafood for that $25 gift certificate and big old red snapper. So go ahead and start sending your names in, and we'll get started on it right away. Okay, now we're going to look at some pictures here. We talked about resolutions, and I still have not finished giving you my outdoor resolutions and all. I did one or two of them, but I haven't done. I want to share all 10 of them with you, so we'll do that later. I don't have time today, but I think this one resolution right here, this sort of sums up everybody's resolution. New Year's resolution number 1: fish more, work less. I think we all have that. We all want to do that. Okay. All right. Now let me go. Bill Angevine sent this picture of drum he caught this past week right here. Nice fish there, Bill. All right, now, I told you I was going to talk about the full moons. And the full moons, we always talk about hunting and fishing. And it's just important you know those days. And of course, I know you don't have to memorize these dates, but what I want you to look at, they're at the end of the month, almost the 27th of January, then the 25th. And you look at So even if you're planning way ahead on a trip, you want to look at that full moon, and right there is sort of the last week of the month, all the way down to July, and we'll give you some more in July. We'll pick up the other half. Now, I want to talk a minute about red-headed ducks. I have, back in the 70s, I used to really hunt the redheads out here in West Bay and North Bay. We used to have a big old flock that would come through, and David Barnes and I would hunt them, and then it used to be just thousands of them. Then it got dwindled down to 300, then around 100, and we just quit hunting them because they were just, we almost lost the redheads on through the 80s and 90s, and all of a sudden they made a comeback. And one of my students, ex-students, Brant Marshall, you've heard me talk about Brant before, he told me he was seeing something out there, and Brant's a good duck hunter. Well, he went out there and started hunting them, and he sent me some pictures, and check this out, folks. These are West Bay redheads. Now, I know Lake Seminole has some big ducks and all, but I'm going to show you a series of pictures. He and Brand and some of his buddies went out there, and of course the male, it has a red head and sort of a gray bill. They're diving ducks, but there's a healthy population of these ducks now. Great picture. This next picture right here is Brant, and some of these other boys. That's a good picture there, Brant. Some of these other boys also have gotten some redheads, but just had a good population. And that picture, of course, one of Tom Gurley's pictures of St. Andrews State Park. Tom was great about sending these pictures. Good job there. But anyway, I was just fascinated with these redheads, and because, like I say, they were almost, I wouldn't say extinct. They just they have a huge. They're big ducks, and they have a huge flocks come down, and they were staying here through the 70s and 80s, and then they just sort of almost disappeared, but they've made a great comeback, and that's on the efforts of Ducks Unlimited and a lot of other hunters and all, just, making sure we've had our limits in there, they've had some good feed, and the drought in some areas, I think, this is my theory on this, the drought in some of the areas, like in Georgia and all, and on the Atlantic coast, I think they have dried up some areas, and they've moved on down this and have come back to our area. I'm glad to see them. I wish I'd have known they were going to be here. I might have started hunting them again, but and I may hunt them again next year. But this is open water duck hunting. It's not like going up to Deer Point Lake and you have a small body of water or a pond or something. When you hunt these redheads, you got to put a big old spread of decoys out, and you got to call them in, and they're like I say, they stay in those marsh areas. So I know also Blair said they have had a really big flock down there below him on the backside of St. George Island. Those duck hunters in Apalachicola and St. Joe had a good time with those ducks there. Okay, now we always, as outdoors, we always try to cover such a wide variety of different things and all in outdoors. And one of the things, simple things of learning how to tie knots. And a lot of times I do this with my classes and all, and a blood knot is one of the most important knots you can tie. It's when you're trying to tie two ropes together or two lines together in a fishing line, and it's trying to get a really strong knot. It's called a blood knot. Okay, so I got this little 3-minute video showing you how to tie a blood knot. All right, Jeff, let's run this. All right, folks, today I'm out of my garage. I'm in my little place I call my tackle corner. I got all my junk here. A lot of times I like to come out here and just piddle around and do stuff. I was thinking I would like to show you all how to tie some knots. I'm just going to do one at a time. We're going to start off today on a blood knot. Now, I teach knot tying to my outdoor ed class. We spend about three days on a little knot tying unit. And I've learned over the years the best way to teach knot tying is you don't hold it out in front of you and try to teach somebody, because everything's reversed. So I'm going to let the camera come in from behind me. And also, you don't use monofilament line or braided line in teaching somebody how to tie a knot. Over the years, I've developed this little lesson plan where I just show them in different colors and all. And I really let the kids teach each other too. So today we're going to talk about a blood knot. That's a very important knot in outdoors. That's when you're tying two lines together. So let's give it a try. I've got these two different colors laying right here on my bench. And what I'm going to do now, the blood knot, hopefully you can see this. And what you want to do is get plenty of to work with and overlap it like this. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I've got the two lines laying down. I'm going to get up both lines, and I'm going to hold both of them between my thumb and forefinger of my left hand. I'm going to wrap this around 5 times, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to take what I have left, okay, which is called a tag end, that's right there to the right, and bring it right here through this little loop I formed. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do right there. Now I'm gonna do with this other colored line. I'm gonna wrap it 5 times. I'm gonna switch hands. I'm ambidextrous. 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this little loop I have right here, where I have it through here, okay, I'm going to bring it back through the same way with the lime colored line, alright, and then I'm going to just grab the ends, both ends I've taken through there, okay, and then just going to pull it, start tightening it up, okay. You can watch it. It's really cool to watch it tighten up. A lot of times you have to hold the line though so it won't get too come all the way out. But see, it start tightening up. Okay, so now I'm going to hold it right here. Tighten this end right here. Tighten this end right here. And then it starts pulling together. Okay. And it'll end up just like, look at there. That's a pretty knot in it. Okay. That's a blood knot. Now that ain't coming apart. I promise you. Okay. Now, I got some scissors over here. I always trim the ends a little bit, okay. And then after you cut it, it's going to end up looking like this right here, okay. Like I said, good and tight and really neat line, and you can just cut up how much tab you want, okay. That's called a blood knot. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning, getting a week started off right on Panhandle Outdoors. And let's look at our fishing time for today, our outdoor time, fishing and hunting times for today. We're looking at 7:38 to 9:38. I'm just going to hold it up right here. 7:38 to 9:38 this morning, and tonight from 8:07 to 10:07. All right? Now, we always talking about doing different things with kids and all, and one of the things we like to do, especially during a Christmas break or sometimes when you got a little bit of time, is a treasure hunt or scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt, usually you're bringing things in and see breaking up into teams, but we do like a little treasure hunt, and we did this a couple days ago with the kids. I'm going to show you just some of the clues. I'm going to check this out. This is just some of the things we did, and we get a kick out of it. And what we cut these things. These clues are cut in little slips, and I'll just read some of them to you. To get this clue is really neat because the water is under your feet. So I have something hid under the dock. Okay. Granddaddy has many I'm going on a top line now. Granddaddy has many a boat. Doesn't matter if new or old, just so they float. So I had something in my old boat. And then the next one was I had something in my new boat. So they were able to figure that out. Get on down. A bug can be eaten by a toad, but this clue can be found near the road. So I had a clue. And then yak. We had something hid in the kayak. So each one of these clues led to another clue, and it took them a little while to do it. And we had the fire's going out. We need to do something. Of course, we need to run to the wood pile and get some more wood. So I had a clue out there, and we just go. We had all kind of clues, and that was in the mailbox there. To see in the dark, you can light a torch, but I will look for this one around and we left a blank lot so the kids could finish out the little riddle there. But and then at the end we had that one on the bottom I thought was good. My dad taught me how to fish in the summer and hunt in the winter, and how to start a fire with just one. And the answer, of course, was splinters. So they went running over there where we keep our splinters. And anyway, that's a Pokio activity we do. We get all 5 of them out there, and they get all pumped up about it because we tell them a couple days ahead of time. And actually, we did that one at nighttime. So they had their flashlights, and I think that made it a little more exciting. It was a cool night. It rained a little bit during the night. It was cool. And they run. You can see just flashlights looking around and all that. So I'd encourage you to make up a little treasure hunt or something like that. And at the end of it, I think we hid a jar full of quarters. They all think I got 10 quarters apiece, and you thought, they got all kind of stuff. But that's a little Pokio activity. Now, listen, at the beginning of January, we always like to. I want to ask you, help out on. If you've got any new sponsors that may want to come on and advertise on Panhandle Outdoors, please give me a call. Let me know. We're always looking for good sponsors. We really concentrate on small businesses, local people like us throughout the region, and we've had wonderful support with our sponsors and just great support from you, our viewers, and we appreciate it. We always could use some more, so give me a call. I'm going to do like a January, and I do this myself. I just go out and talk to people, tell them what we do. I can give them all kinds of testimonials on how the advertisers on our show have benefited from being on Panhandle Outdoors because you, our viewers, have gone with them. So we always got room for a few more advertisers, and we got something really good here on Panhandle Outdoors. I feel very strong about what we do here, and I feel like we reach a lot of good people on doing good, positive things. So if you would, you want to help us reinforce that message and just keep something good and positive going in our community of our 9 counties here in the Florida Panhandle. So we can do that. I want to show you some pictures. First of all, we have an announcement for the weekend now. The Biofeeder Center is always good about sending us announcements and all about what they're doing over there. And this is good. This is going to be Meet Your Riverkeeper, January the 12th. It'll have an 11 o'clock program, a 1 o'clock program. That will be basically talking about the Choctawhatchee River. They have a speaker over there that talks about the how they protect and how to keep the ecology going in the Choctawhatchee River, and that will be good. Now, the next couple of things, I'm going to show you some pictures, and Bill Allen sent me these. He got them from some guys. Jim Lewis, I think, sent it to him, but we're going to show you some fishing pictures where the fishing trip didn't go as planned, and we've all been there. Now, some of these are going to be a little blood and all because you got hooks and all snatching people. Also, if you got a queasy stomach, you may not want to look at it this early in the morning. But I won't say I enjoyed them, but I just was fascinated by them. Okay, and I just want to share a couple of them with you, or not all of them. I got a bunch of them here, but this has happened. I did this to my brother when we were teenagers. I actually did it in his arm. Okay, and again, now like I say, this happens on a headboat about once, a couple times a week. I can promise you. All right. Now this is not a real pleasant one here. I don't know how this one happened, but it just wasn't really good right there. But I'm going to show you just a couple more. This is where the boat launch didn't go really as good as expected when you go in the water like that. How about a nice boat like this? I'm going to run out of time. Listen, but I got more of these I'll show later on in the week, okay? Listen, run out of time. You do something good for somebody today. Thank you for watching our show, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.